the woman who made life rich. Stop and see her, not for what she had, but for what she gave. 60 years walked on weary feet, hands empty, yet carrying the weight of love the world could never measure. She lived in small rooms, ate simple meals, but her heart held abundance that overflowed into every life she touched. Her days began before the sun. Her nights ended long after the world slept. Every burden she lifted, every sorrow she absorbed, every tear she wiped silently, all became the foundation of happiness for others. The world may have called her poor, but she was richer than anyone who measured wealth by coins and gold. She gave hope where there was none, peace to the restless, and strength to the weak. Her life was a living testament that richness is measured not by what you hold, but by what you give. Even in scarcity, she found ways to share. Even in silence, her love spoke volumes. Even in struggle, she built worlds for those around her. 60 years of giving, 60 years of sacrifice, yet never a complaint, never a demand. Before you judge, look closer. She lived poor, but she made life immeasurably rich. The price she paid in silence. She paid for love, with her comfort, for peace, with her rest, for others' smiles, with her own unfinished dreams. Her sacrifices were never announced. They lived quietly, in skipped meals, in worn clothes, in choices made, so others would not have to choose pain. She learned how to stretch little into enough, how to turn nothing into shelter, how to protect hope when everything else felt fragile. While others chased ease, she chose responsibility. While others rested, she endured. While others complained, she adjusted. Again and again, her silence was not weakness. It was the cost of being strong. When no backup existed, there were nights when exhaustion sat heavy on her chest, when fear whispered questions she had no answers for. Still, she woke before dawn. Still she carried on. Still she gave. The world never saw the toll it took on her body, the weight it placed on her heart, the years it quietly removed from her own happiness. They only saw what she did not have. They never counted what she lost, so others could gain. Her life was a currency, spent entirely on love, a wealth distributed so freely that nothing remained for display. And yet, from everything she gave away, a richness was born, a life shaped, a future built, a heart filled by her endless sacrifice. This is the price she paid, not in money, but in herself. And still, she never regretted a single moment of loving. The riches she planted in me, what I am today, was shaped by her scarcity. What I hold now was born from what she went without. She poured her strength into my weakness, her patience into my mistakes, her belief into my doubts. When I could not believe in myself, every step I take forward carries her footprints behind it. Every dream I touch has her fingerprints on it. She taught me value before she taught me ambition. She taught me kindness before success. She taught me dignity when life tried to teach survival alone. When I fell, she became the ground that held me. When I doubted, she became the voice that steadied me. When I feared the world, she stood between me and everything that could break me. Her love did not spoil me. It prepared me. She corrected without cruelty, guided without control, and loved without condition. I did not inherit money from her. I inherited courage. I did not receive comfort. I received character. The richness I live today, is not accidental. It is built from her sleepless nights, her unanswered prayers, her endless sacrifices that asked for nothing in return. If my life shines, it is because she burned quietly to give it light. She lived poor, but she made me rich. Rich in values, rich in resilience, rich in a love that no poverty could ever erase. The wealth the world never saw. The world saw her struggle, but never her strategy. It saw her scarcity, but missed her strength. She built abundance out of discipline, created stability out of uncertainty, and raised hope in places where despair felt permanent. Her wealth was never stored. It was invested in patience, in resilience, in teaching me how to stand when life pushed hard. She taught me that money can disappear, but character remains. That comfort can fade, but values endure. Every lesson she gave was paid for with her own comfort. Every boundary she set cost her peace. Every opportunity she created for me was carved out of her own limitations. She chose responsibility over ease, principles over shortcuts, and love over self-preservation. People admired success later, never knowing who paid the price for it first. Her hands stayed empty because she kept filling others. Her pockets stayed light because she carried futures instead. She never called herself rich. She never needed to. The wealth she created lives on in my decisions, in my discipline, in the way I love and refuse to quit. She lived poor, but she built a richness that time cannot bankrupt. A fortune written, not in accounts, but in the life I now live because of her. The richness she left in my soul. Now that I walk where she once stood tired, I finally understand the cost of everything she gave. Her poverty was never emptiness. It was generosity pushed to its limits. It was love choosing others, again and again, until nothing remained for display. She never asked the world to notice her pain. She only asked life to let me rise. Every comfort I touch today was once her sacrifice. Every smile I carry was once her endurance. Every dream I live was once her silent prayer. She aged while protecting my youth. She weakened while building my strength. She stayed behind so I could move forward. The world may remember me, but I will always remember who made me possible. She lived poor for 60 years, yet she gifted me a life richer than gold, stronger than time, and deeper than words. If wealth is measured by what remains after hardship, then she was the richest woman I have ever known. She is not just my past. She is my foundation. She is my blessing. She is my forever treasure. If this story touched your heart, leave a comment below for the women who gave everything and never asked to be seen. The years she never claimed. She gave her years away, as if time were endless, as if her body would never ask for rest. Birthdays passed quietly. Seasons changed without celebration. And milestones arrived with responsibility, not reward. She never claimed credit for what she built. She never asked to be thanked. Her life moved forward, on duty, on routine, on promises kept, even when they hurt. She aged in service, grew older in patience, and accepted less, so others could have more. Time took from her what it could: strength, ease, softness, but it could not take her purpose. She lived each year as an offering, each day as a quiet vow, to protect, to provide, to endure. 60 years passed, and still she stood, tired, unnoticed, yet unbroken. These were the years she never claimed, but they belonged to her forever. The lessons she never preached. She did not lecture. She lived. She taught honesty. By choosing truth, even when lies were easier. She taught strength. By standing back up, without explanation. From her I learned that kindness is a discipline, that patience is power, that love survives without applause. She corrected gently, guided quietly, and trusted time to teach what words could not. Her lessons came through example, through how she faced loss, how she handled disappointment, how she refused to become cruel. She taught me that dignity matters, even when no one is watching, that values cost something, and that character is built in hardship. She never called herself wise, but wisdom lived in her choices. And long after the words fade, her lessons remain steady, clear, and alive in me. The love that outlived hardship. Hardship tried to harden her. It failed. Love stayed soft. Even when life was sharp, care remained steady. Even when gratitude was rare, she loved without contracts, without conditions, without guarantees. Her love did not depend on comfort or ease. It survived on intention. She gave affection when she was tired, reassurance when she was unsure, and warmth when she herself felt cold. Years could not exhaust it. Poverty could not starve it. At 60, her love remains not loud, not dramatic, but deeply rooted. This is the love that carried me forward when nothing else could. The truth about richness. I now understand what richness really is. It is not what you keep. It is what you give, without losing yourself. She owned little, yet lacked nothing essential. She lived simply, yet lived fully. Her wealth was invisible to those counting money, but undeniable to those counting blessings. She was rich in restraint, rich in empathy, rich in endurance. What I have today was funded by her sacrifices. What I am today was shaped by her love. She lived poor, but she built a life overflowing with meaning. The woman who made me rich. She lived poor for 60 years, but she made my life rich. Rich in values, rich in courage, rich in love. That does not fade. The world may never honor her, but I will. She is my foundation, my proof, my greatest inheritance. Not because she had much, but because she gave everything. If her story touched your heart, leave a comment below to honor the women whose sacrifices made our lives rich.